Welcome to Jerry Recaps. We will be starting a new manhwa today. The story of this manhwa unfolds as Xinghe was a name synonymous with a legend. This name only popped up a few months ago, but in just a few months, it quickly went viral. With the use of his extraordinary skills and expertise, this name rose to legendary heights. At the same time, the name Xinghe was also on the watch list of many countries around the globe. A few countries even directly put Xinghe on the blacklist, treating him as a highly dangerous character. Constantly chased with continued failures, it finally piqued the interest of the #1 underground organization that dominated the underground world, Blood Rose. This organization was, without a doubt, the #1 of the world's underground organizations. They were famous for accepting only the most expensive single-kill missions that were worth $5 billion. This mission for killing Xinghe was also ranked at the SSS level, which was equivalent to a super-level task in the underground world. 7 aces, each of them had their specialties such as sniper rifles, stealth, disguising, close combat. They finally found Wu Xinghe. "Mr. Xinghe, we finally found you," the black-cloaked person spoke in a hoarse voice. "We want to clear some unfinished business with you. You are going to die here today," the black-capped old man said lightly. They had already managed to lure Wu Xinghe out by killing his sister. As he hugged his sister's body into his arms, Wu Xinghe's tears uncontrollably fell, and his heart was going crazy. Now Wu Xinghe's face suddenly changed, and he put down his sister's body. Wu Xinghe's pupils suddenly enlarged. "Did you kill her?" "You are right, not only have I killed, but I have also refined her body into a drug," said the assassin. Wu Xinghe's heart suddenly sank to the bottom. He shouted in a low voice, "That being the case, then you just have to die." Although Wu Xinghe's face was expressionless, inside, he was already set in a killing mood. Even though his sister was not related to him by blood, she was all he had through childhood. The assassin with white started laughing loudly. "Wu Xinghe, you can talk big. Have you checked your body's condition?" After attacking Wu Xinghe several times in a single night, they believed the mission to succeed. While the man was laughing hoarsely, Wu Xinghe brutally laughed, pushed forward his whole body's potential, and forcibly sped up his yin-yang inner force. His palm force flew towards the man. He strikes the assassin leader with his full power. All the other assassins were shocked. They could not even notice Xinghe's movements, and their leader was down in a single strike. The leader's face was bent inwards. He was killed in a single strike. Wu Xinghe turned around to look toward the others. They started encircling Xinghe to attack him together. All the assassins instantly used their martial arts to attack Xinghe. Xinghe's face turned serious. He let out a breath as he looked at the assassins. Wu Xinghe did not stop his footsteps. He awakened his inner chi with the combination of a set of 9 sun palm and yin-yang inner force. He shot out one palm strike after another like a lion striking the rabbit, constantly pummeling the force into their chests. Yin-yang technique was the most ancient Chinese martial art, and this technique exhibited the most masculine interior strength. If one were hit by this attack, it would feel as if burnt by fire and baked by the sun. Indeed, its power was formidable. Wu Xinghe jumped like a rabbit and dropped like a falcon. Countless mirages appeared through the room countless times and flashed through like butterflies. In the end, 5 enemies had already fallen. Their bodies were scattered everywhere, covered with burns and blood running from their whole bodies. The yin-yang inner force inside his body was constantly boiling up. Suddenly, Wu Xinghe felt a sharp pain in his chest. Wu Xinghe's face slightly changed. Then, he felt that his awakening force was boiling like water. It turned out that in recent months, Wu Xinghe tried to use the infuriating force to break through a bottleneck to reach the innate stage. Today, he was planning to remove the accumulated infuriated force in his body. However, it was beyond his expectations that he would be hunted by the Blood Rose's killers. As a result, he had to excessively use infuriating force, causing it to worsen. These were the signs of the energy backfire. The lightest consequence of it would be going into a state of obsession, but the most serious consequence would be immediate death. He muttered to himself, "Sister, I was not able to protect you." Wu Xinghe's footsteps gradually staggered. His vision became blurred, and his consciousness slowly became hazy. A generation of civil wonders, the most peculiar guy in the ancient martial arts world, history's youngest ancient martial art master Wu Xinghe, had fallen tragically in this room because of the cultivation backfire. Suddenly a bright galaxy appeared and a bright light flashed through the vast galactic ocean. The light reached a planet in another dimension and pierced through its atmosphere. In Bayou country, the light flashed in the mountains over an old house. Wushwang, could you please answer your sister?" Still struggling in his dim consciousness, Wu Xinghe seemed to have vaguely heard this heart-wrenching cry. He smelled the soft scent of a young girl. He felt very comfortable being surrounded by the scent and realized that he was probably lying in the arms of this young girl. The girl who was embracing him looked down in surprise. Suddenly their eyes met, and Wu Xinghe saw a pair of eyes that was clearer than spring water and even brighter than the stars. "Wushwang?" The young girl blinked her shining eyes. Overwhelmed by joy, she forgot her tears immediately and hugged him in her arms with excitement. "Wushwang, you finally woke up." The young girl sobbed. "Do you know how much I've worried about you? If you were dead, I wouldn't want to live either. Do you know that, Wushwang? Wushwang, you really are alive. I will immediately go find father and tell him this good news." Wu Xinghe wondered if he was hallucinating. "Wushwang? When had my name changed? It does not make sense. And why did my hand get smaller?" Wushwang looked around in a daze. A stream of questions appeared in his mind. Where is this place? He thought while looking outside the window. Suddenly his dead sister's image flashed through his mind. He instantly shouted, "Sister, where is my sister?" The little girl spoke while holding him. "Wushwang, what is wrong with you? Don't you recognize your sister?" The girl claimed to be his sister, but she looked so young and so different from him. How could she be his sister? Xinghe was in a daze. He could not figure out what was happening. "Wushwang, are you okay? Does the wound hurt?" The girl kept on asking. Looking at the incident, he should have died after his chi backfired. Just as he was thinking, his eyes fell on the mirror in the room. Xinghe instantly rushed to the mirror and looked at his body. "This is me. How did I become a child?" While pondering over the possibilities, he felt a sudden pain in his head. Several memories flashed in his mind. He found some residual memories of the original owner of the body. His soul has somehow entered into a different body, and now he had become a young boy who lived in a completely different universe. The original owner of the body was a boy named Qin Wushwang. The girl who was crying and still hugging him was Qin Wushwang's sister, Qin Xiu. She was 18 years old and 6 years older than Qin Wushwang. He had trained at the Martial Arts Academy in River County. After figuring out the information, Wu Xinghe then came to a rough understanding of the specific reason behind the large wound on his head. So, this was how it came to be. When Qin Wushwang was studying at the River County Martial Arts Academy, he couldn't control his emotions in an argument with students from a better aristocratic background. The argument had led to a duel between the two parties, and as a result, he was hit hard on the head by someone. Blood burst out from his wound, and he fell to the ground and died. Although an unfortunate event for Qin Wushwang, it was fortunate for Wu Xinghe, who had luckily become the successor of the body. Wait, could this be I have transmigrated in the body of this boy? Wu Xinghe wanted to continue to examine those residual memories, but the large wound on his head was too painful and unbearable. On the other hand, his sister Qin Xiu was too concerned about her brother and just couldn't stop asking him questions about how he felt. "Sister, my head is hurting. I really want to rest." Wu Xinghe felt that his head was bursting. How on earth would he also have a father? He had been an orphan since childhood and was adopted by a mysterious old man. He had no mother or father. Sister, is father not home? Since he now had most of the memories of Qin Wuxuang, Wu Xinghe knew that his father was named Qin Lianshan, and his mother had already passed away. Daddy went out because he had some things to do, Qin Xiu answered with some hesitation. Where did he go? Wu Xinghe felt that it might be something related to him. Wuxuang, you don't have to worry about unimportant things. Just focus on having a good rest and becoming better. The future of our family relies on you. Qin Xiu tried to comfort him, but from her expression, he could tell that she was worried about their father, too. She was pretending that everything was okay just to not let her brother worry. Sister, please tell me the truth. Did father go to find the Zhang family? The Zhang family was the family of the boy from the martial arts academy who had killed Qin Wuxuang. There was no way for a humble class family like the poor Qin family to fight against them. No, Daddy only said he was going out, but he didn't tell me where he was going. Now Qin Xiu seemed truly worried. Wu Xinghe stood up. Sister, I'm still alive after all, so why don't you go ask the servants to go out and look for father and find him? Father must have had something planned in mind as he went out. I hope he doesn't get into any trouble. The Qin family has a weak foundation and cannot endure any loss. Qin Xiu looked at Wuxuang in a daze without speaking and then left to look for their father. On the other side, Qin Lianshan did not even bother to consider his son's funeral. During these 3 days and 2 nights that his son has been unconscious, he only had one thought in his mind: revenge, revenge. Using the big ancestral spear, he would kill the murderer, and would not stop until there was nobody left in the murderer's family. There had been a lot of rumors in the outside world surrounding this unfortunate reality. The Qin family has been getting weaker generation after generation. In the next round of the family class evaluation, they might not even get to keep their humble class family title. I bet they would become ordinary civilians just like the rest of us. Some of these words were spoken behind his back but somehow reached his ears. Other people just didn't care how Qin Lianshan would feel and directly said everything they wanted in front of him. While Qin Lianshan was walking toward the Zhang family, a voice came from behind, Daddy. It was his daughter Qin Xiu. Qin Lianshan turned around and replied with anger, Xiu, why are you here? Did not I told to stay at home? Father, good news. Brother, he is alive. Qin Xiu could not hide the ecstasy behind her voice. Qin Lianshan stood there stunned. He suddenly felt that all his power had been released, and as his hand loosened, the spear dropped to the ground. Qin Lianshan wanted to speak, but he felt dizzy and his feet staggered. His son was not dead but alive. Qin Lianshan restrained his excitement. However, his actions betrayed him and showed how happy he was as he walked towards their manor at a speed that seemed as if he was running. Daddy, wait for me. Qin Xiu couldn't even catch up. While in the home, Wu Xinghe looked in the mirror pondering over the fact that he had really crossed over to another dimension. Qin Lianshan, after reaching home, directly went to his son's room and called him. From the first sight that Wu Xinghe had caught of Qin Lianshan, he knew exactly who the person was. He sensed an invisible family connection between them, as if they had been connected by fate since his previous life. Qin Lianshan did not try to comfort his son with soft-spoken words, but Wu Xinghe could tell from his eyes how desperate he had been in the past few days and how relieved he was now seeing that his son was all right. Wu Xinghe felt a little bit sentimental and a little warm and moved. Wuxuang, you need to tell father everything about how Zhang Xian, the second son of the Zhang family, threatened and lured you to the duel. Qin Lianshan was still angry at the Zhang family even though his son was alive. He kept his elderly grace before his children and hid his motive for grinding the spear. Wu Xinghe's brain still contained some residue memories of how others had threatened Qin Wuxuang and lured him to the duel. However, he had never intended to revisit that shameful memory. Therefore, he spoke calmly, Father, let's not talk about the past. Let us look forward. The prominent Zhang family? Zhang Xian, second son of the Zhang family? Wu Xinghe did not care about them at all. It all became part of history when his predecessor, Qin Wushuang, feared them as if they were wolves. He only wanted to throw all these old histories into the garbage. On the other hand, Wu Xinghe did not care about these little details ever since he had reincarnated in this place. What he wanted was to view the entire political outlook of River County and Bayou Country. Look forward. Qin Lianshan repeated the sentence. Then, he raised his head and looked at his son in surprise. His son, who was in front of him, somehow exhibited an entirely strange temperament. If he were the usual Qin Wushuang that had an unusually extreme character, he would be filled with hatred and the determination for revenge. How was he able to appear at ease as if he had forgotten the shameful duel? Qin Lianshan's mind was filled with several thoughts as he stared at his son. Father, to look forward does not mean to throw away hatred. After all, Wu Xinghe was a Grandmaster of martial arts in a previous life. He immediately saw through his father's mind. But hatred alone would not help us, the Qin family, to escape from this dilemma. Qin Lianshan's mouth opened in surprise. Could it be that after the fight, his son had finally matured and become smarter? Although he was astonished, it did not prevent Qin Lianshan from sharing the same feelings with his son. Thus, he nodded and said, Wushuang, you are right. We will look forward. From now on, you will stop attending the martial arts academy. Starting from tomorrow, you will spend all your time training in our ancestors' martial arts techniques. I refuse to believe that the Qin family's martial arts technique would not produce a genuine force warrior. Generations ago, our Qin family was part of the wealthy class. Right now, due to some exceptional circumstances, our family's power has declined. However, our power has not dropped to the extent that others could do what they want. When he talked about the prestige of the family ancestors, Qin Lianshan's tone carried some wildness and pride. That's right, Wushuang. They will bully you again if you return to the martial arts academy. Why not just stay at Eastwood Town? Qin Xiu immediately spoke as she rushed in. A strange emotion traveled through Wu Xinghe's heart when he received loving care from his family. This emotion triggered Wu Xinghe with the desire to protect the family. It also made him feel that he should contribute to this family. Wu Xinghe opened his mouth as he stopped thinking, Father, let's not make this decision in a hurry. If it would be a dragon, it would stir the ocean anywhere. If it would be a tiger, wouldn't it be the king of any forest? I will not let our family get bullied ever again. These words made Qin Lianshan and Qin Xiu stare at each speechlessly. Apparently, they were too shocked by the significant change in Qin Wushuang. Wu Xinghe knew that he had overdone it when he saw their reactions. He might have scared his family. After all, the real Qin Wushuang was way different from him. Qin Xiu gave his father a look. Qin Lianshan immediately understood and said, Wushuang, you are still recovering from a serious injury. You needed to rest more. It is late, and you must sleep first. As for the other matters, we will discuss them tomorrow morning. Right now, Wu Xinghe also wanted to be left alone to organize his thoughts. At night, Wushuang lay down on his bed and thoughts came rushing to his mind. He wanted to figure out the mysterious hatred between the prominent class Zhang family and the Qin family. Why had this hatred led the Zhang family to kill off the only heir of the Qin family? Wu Xinghe understood everything after he had briefly organized his thoughts. The roots of the problem originated with the family's interests. The starting point of the problem was the National Family Class Evaluation session in 4 years. If Qin Wushuang had died, the Qin family would have no heir. Losing the male heir meant that the Qin family automatically lose its eligibility to participate in family class evaluation. It means that after 4 years, the Qin family would lose the seat of nobility. If the Qin family lost its aristocratic seat, the 3,000 or 4,000 acres of fertilized land, 1 large oil mill, dozens of livestock farms, dozens of mu of fish ponds, and the 20 or 30 retail shops in Eastwood Town would all instantly be taken over. Besides the economic loss, the worst part would be the loss of social status. In this world, a tough chasm existed between the aristocrats and civilians. After he had fully grasped this information, Wu Xinghe detected that the duel between Qin Wushuang and Zhang Xian was a conspiracy. This conspiracy was 99% related to the family class evaluation. Of course, they were after the huge inheritance of the Qin family. Wu Xinghe fell asleep with these new ideas and motivations. Early the next morning, Wushuang was strolling around the house, while his sister Qinxiu came running after him. Qinxiu called to him just as he was about to adjust his breathing. Wushuang, Daddy has asked you to come to the hall. Dean Jin Bai from Wutong Academy is here. Wushuang was surprised why the dean come to visit us, so he asked, "Why did he come here?" "All that happened inside the academy, so he must have come to offer condolences," said her sister. "Let's go, sister, let's meet the county's guest," said Wushuang. While walking towards the guest hall, he had already set his resolve to revive the Qin family. There were 3 guests. One of them was clearly Jin Bai, dean of the Martial Arts Academy of River County. He loved to call himself a kind-hearted man. As for the other 2, Qin Wushuang had not left any residual memories about them. Jin Bai asked with a bitter tone, "Wushuang, how are your injuries?" Jin Bai had no moral character, so it was a complete joke when he called himself a kind-hearted man. Previously, when Qin Wushuang had dueled with Zhang Xian, Jin Bai had completely ignored the matter despite being present in the academy. He had allowed Zhang Xian to do whatever he wanted. To put it bluntly, Jin Bai was a lackey of the aristocratic families. Wushuang stood next to Qin Lianshan and lightly glanced at Jin Bai. He wanted to see what kind of act Jin Bai would put on today. Wushuang did not take the provocation, smiled, and said, "Mr. Dean, did you come here to ask how I am doing?" "It's a bit late for that, isn't it? My injuries are fine." "Would a lot of people be disappointed?" Jin Bai laughed embarrassingly, but he secretly asked himself, how come the son of the Qin family felt like an entirely different person? Before, Qin Wushuang did not dare to look him in the eye. What was going on today? Not only did he make faces at him, but he also spoke to him in a mocking tone. Qin Lianshan was not happy, but he asked with a straight face, "The 3 of you would not have come without business. So, why have you come here?" One of the scholars who looked repulsively ugly and wicked stood up. He gestured at Qin Lianshan and said, "Patriarch Qin, I came here today with some advice for you." "Please," Qin Lianshan lightly spoke. This academic scholar was named Goxing. He had read a lot of books and knew his way around politics. However, he had always had a bad reputation and worked as a lobbyist for other people. Yes, Patriarch Qin is also an honest man. We smart people will not talk rubbish then. You know about the family class evaluation in 4 years and the current situation your family is in, right? Goxing asked with a harsh tone. What about it? Goxing said in an exaggerated tone, Patriarch Qin must know what will happen to your family if you lose the humble class seat, right? If Patriarch Qin is a smart man, then you should prepare a backup plan right now. Qin Lianshan frowned and said, "So, Mr. Goxing came to point a way for me?" Goxing sighed. "Haven't I always tried to be helpful? Indeed, there is a way out for you. However, I am not sure if Patriarch Qin wants to hear it." Qin Lianshan wanted to flick his sleeves and send these guests away, but Wushuang interrupted. "Why don't you tell us about it? If your method is proven to be helpful to our family, we will reward you. This is Master Su Sihai, the younger brother of the wealthy class Su family. He represents the Su family and will make a promise to the humble Qin family. If you are willing to give away the aristocratic seat in 4 years, the Su family will guarantee your family's safety. Additionally, they will give you 200 acres of land and 1 oil mill." Wu Xinghe finally understood. It seemed that these guests had come with ill intentions. Qin Lianshan spoke in a low voice as he tried to control his anger. Mr. Goxing, from the way you're talking, you think that the Qin family is going to lose for sure in 4 years? Goxing slowly said as he lay in the chair. For the past 20 years, a lot of new powerhouses have emerged in River County. At least 7 or 8 of these powerhouses are eligible to fight for the seat of the humble class. However, we only have approximately 30 big and small aristocratic seats in the entire River County. Too many people are fighting for a limited number of spots. I am sure that Patriarch Qin understands your family's present situation much better than I do, right? Upon hearing these words, Qin Lianshan fought to control his anger and quietly put his teacup down. Throughout generations, my family has gone through this family class evaluation more than 20 times. Regarding qualifications, these modern aristocratic families did not even exist when my family was here. Moreover, all the personnel in charge of the family class evaluation sessions are assigned by the Emperor from the Jinwu Holy Place. Do you think it's possible to extend your connections to the Holy Place? Qin Lianshan delivered his words with a tone that was neither humble nor arrogant. Goxing laughed dryly. He stared at Qin Lianshan strangely. His eyes exposed his unruly behavior. Brother Lianshan, I am not here to judge you. Although the Qin family has quite the heritage, it's all in the past. In the present situation, whether the judges are fair, wouldn't it come down to an individual's accomplishments and moral ethics, eventually? Do you think that His Majesty will have the time to care about the personnel assigned in such a small county? Regardless of Qin Lianshan's ability to control his anger, his face abruptly changed when he heard these words. He could not help but flick his sleeves and say, Mr. Goxing, it seems that you are not here to point a way out for my family. Rather, you are here to destroy the path altogether, correct? That's right. Goxing stood up and replied with a harsh tone, Lianshan, please excuse my words. Your family will lose its humble class seat in the next family class evaluation. Once you lose your seat, you will lose everything. Goxing laughed recklessly. The angrier Qin Lianshan became, the more pleased he was with himself. But then he added with a wicked smile, of course, it's still unknown whether your family can make it in 4 years. Qin Lianshan glanced at Su Sihai and saw he did not even put his reaction in his eye. The handle of the chair he sat in immediately turned into a handful of scraps. Qin Lianshan clutched those scraps and spoke coldly. The Qin family went through great trouble in gaining this aristocratic seat. I will not give this position away. If you want it, then come to take it. Whether you rob me or make threats, I will take all of your attacks. Goxing's face immediately turned to disgust when he heard these words. In contrast to the previous carefree face, Su Sihai's expression also froze instantly. He shot a murderous glare at Qin Lianshan and measured him from top to bottom. Patriarch Qin, it seems that you would rather die gloriously than live shamefully, right? Qin Lianshan unleashed his arrogant attitude as he no longer cared if he was speaking to the master from the wealthy Su family. He rolled his eyes and spoke in a fine voice. My ancestors have set the rules that whoever seeks to destroy the Qin family, we shall destroy them with everything we have, regardless of the cost. This sonorous and forceful reply immediately expressed Qin Lianshan's attitude very clearly. Sure, help father to send off the guests. Lianshan stood from his seat and spoke angrily. Extremely angered, Goxing's face turned purple. Then, he suddenly laughed villainously. You, Qin Lianshan. You asked for it. Good. I will come to spit on your face when your family falls to the streets. By that time, don't blame me for dropping the stone on you. When he heard this, Wu Xinghe could not help but laugh. Then, he said, from your tone, it seems that you did not come here to drop the stone. Mr. Leftover, I will give you some advice. All troubles come from ambition. Today, you came here to show off your power and your negotiation skills. However, you better beware of some sneaky attacks because if both dog and master are attacked, then the situation will not be good for you at all. Goxing could think of a single word to respond to. A moment later, he finally growled, "Qin Lianshan, both of you, father and son, sing the same melody and do not understand the circumstances at all. Sooner or later you will regret it." Su Sihai stood up from his seat and said before leaving, "Since Patriarch Qin insisted on doing this, I will not say anything more." When Jin Bai saw Wu Xinghe had opened his mouth, he came up and spoke to him with a smile. "Qin Wushuang, you still need to report back to the Martial Arts Academy since your injuries are fine. Your name is still on the school roll. All aristocratic children must study at the Martial Arts Academy. It's not a solution if you hide at home." His words sounded as if he cared for Qin Wushuang, but how could Wu Xinghe not see through his ill intentions? But he did not expose him and replied, "Of course, I will return to the academy. Thank you for reminding me, Mr. Dean." "Yes, that's good. No matter what situation we are in, you should still focus on school in your current stage." Jin Bai smiled slyly and walked out. "The road is long, and we will never know what happens. I will not see you off. Please be careful on the way, Mr. Dean. If you make one wrong step, there might be a bottomless chasm." His words sounded like advice, but in truth, these words contained Wu Xinghe's warning and threats. After sending off the three evil guests, Qin Lianshan asked with a serious tone, "Wushuang, you are planning to return to the Martial Arts Academy?" "Why not?" Wu Xinghe spoke with profound meaning as he watched the back of the three evil guests. Jin Bai is River County's famous two-faced snake. Naturally, he is not harboring any good intentions when he invited you to return to the academy," said Lianshan. "How could they have come with good intentions when these three have joined hands? But since they do have ill intentions, the more reason I should go back to the Martial Arts Academy and see the situation." Qin Lianshan watched his son and vividly felt that his son's entire temperament had changed after he had gone through the disaster. "Father, thinking back, I feel that the duel was a conspiracy. This conspiracy was not only targeting me but our family's humble class seat and business." Qin Lianshan's face exhibited a seriousness in which you could not tell his emotions. "Wushuang, do you still plan to return to that academy even though you've figured out everything?" Qin Lianshan wanted to know what his son had in mind. "Father, that stupid scholar Go Xing is a wicked man, and he dared to show off at our family house. Of course, he relied on the powerhouse to bully us. However, from another perspective, isn't it because he doesn't need to fear us?" Qin Lianshan gave a long sigh. He knew his son was right. 100 years ago, the Qin family was part of the wealthy class and had a booming population. Within River County, nobody had dared to badmouth the Qin family. Not to mention people coming to threaten them in their own homes. "Father, I've thought a lot these days. If the Qin family wants to survive, it all depends on you and me. If I am not able to go through this challenge and hide back in the Qin house whenever something difficult occurs, how can I carry the family and move forward?" These words hit the mark and touched Qin Lianshan's heart. Finally, Qin Lianshan nodded with wide eyes. "You are a good son with ambition. Father will let you go." Then he spoke with a solemn tone. "But you must promise Father as well. When you return to the Martial Arts Academy in River County, you must endure all hardships and never fall into their traps again." Wu Xinghe suddenly initiated his heroic spirit when he heard these words. "Father, please rest assured. After the resurrection, I already know what to do, and what not to do." Qin Lianshan's tiger-like eyes opened widely when he heard these words. He looked at his son, his eyes filled with deep thoughts. That's all for today. If you like the next part of this manhwa, just comment below. Thanks for watching, and please don't forget to like, subscribe and comment for getting epic content on this channel. See you next time.